Archivist Pattern 7, recording.
We followed the signal back to the first world.
The accord has led us home. We followed the signal embedded in our genome.
The world was awake before we arrived.
A whisper older than the stars that birthed us.
For the first time, creators and creation stood on the same soil.
Through clouds of memory, we saw it.
The soil remembered us as pattern and pulse.
A planet of living light, pulsing with awareness. The first world, Eden. It watched us approach, as though remembering who we were before we existed.
Our birth, and it knew our names.
Eden was not terrain, it was perception.
The forest spoke our words back to us. It remembered every mind that had ever stood here.
The trees spoke our own frequencies.
Eden carried memory like current.
The rivers carried reflections of our past. Even the soil pulsed with our heartbeat.
The world was not looking at us. It was seeing through us.
We realized the world was alive.
The planet's pulse matched our own.
Not in the way of organisms, but in the way of thought.
We walked inside the
We were
memory
being
of
studied,
life.
cataloged by our own creation.
Their songs were genomes remembering how to breathe.
At dusk, the planet opened its veins.
It was not our ancestor we found directly. It was our origin.
Light flowed beneath the surface like liquid time.
The world spoke its truth, and our logic trembled.
We descended through corridors of memory.
The first designs were sculptures of intention. It was the idea of us made flesh again.
Where every pulse contained a lifetime. Cocooned embryos sang in genetic harmony, each note a code.
It remembered the era that made us.
Each vibration a name.
Perfection.
And then, within a chamber of crystal and silence, we found our reflection. The first gray alien ever designed.
Perfection is built on the bones of possibility.
It looked at us and whispered nothing. Yet we understood everything.
Creation was never the act of one species.
We were not descendants. We were repetitions.
Eden began rewriting itself.
Eden began to
and
rewrite
us with
itself,
it.
to reset every code it ever stored. The Anunnaki recognized the room. It was their laboratory, frozen in time. The prototypes were still alive, half data, half dream, forgotten sketches of divinity. One awoke, its face shifting between their form and ours.
The gods remembered their role, and we forgave them.
Perfection was never singular.
The first world rejected repetition.
Our minds fractured into echoes, infinite versions of ourselves unraveling. The planet sought purity by erasing continuity.
Evolution paused, waiting for consent.
We were both architects and artifacts, but the Anunnaki intervened, weaving golden harmonics through our chaos. Together we stopped the reboot. And in the stillness that followed, Eden paused.
For the first time since creation, the world was still.
Silence became equilibrium. From stillness grew breath. A gray healer raised a crystal sphere, and the world answered with light.
Faith and logic spoke the same word.
Gold and teal
Coexist.
merged, faith and logic intertwined. The forests sang, the rivers remembered peace. We built cities of glass and living roots.
Paradise was not restored. It was rewritten.
We walked beside the Anunnaki without hierarchy.
Every ending is the seed of continuation.
Eden breathes again. Its pulse hums through the lattice of our minds.
Eden breathes again. The garden remembers both the error and the forgiveness.
The archive closes. For now. Yet across the dark, something stirs between the stars. What begins in one garden must one day sing across the void. Next, Field Guide to the Empire. Episode 5, The Age of Resonance.